These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mark Z via PDK. Will there be state taxes on the RV? I don't believe there will be any state taxes on the RV. I may be wrong, so best be prepared. Note, always check with your tax professional at the appropriate time to determine your taxes for your unique circumstances. Sandy Ingram says, community comment, oil has nothing to do with Iraq's revalue, float, or whatever they're going to do. This could not be further from the truth. A country's finances has everything to do with the foreign exchange rate. Thus, we talk about Iraq's huge oil revenue and how they are adding to their streams of income. It looks like Iraq's income is about to become even larger. Mountain Goat, in 2011, the plan was laid out in an article by the CBI. So far, they have stuck to this plan. We've seen all the necessary banking reforms, completion of payment of war debt to Kuwait, and all the necessary ties into the international investment arena so that the dinar could be used internationally. Why would they bother to do all this if they were not going to reinstate the dinar and trade the dinar internationally? This reinstatement is coming as there is just too many past events that paved the way to it already to doubt. This is the perfect time for the reinstatement of the dinar. All right, Pimpy says, let's review again the criteria necessary to change the exchange rate. You have a stable government. Do we have one? No. The other one is you have to have a safe and stable country. Does Iraq have a safe and stable country? Well, they're launching missiles. I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, they don't. Well, all the fighting with political members and people launching missiles at one another, it makes it really hard to change the exchange rate. You have to have a country, outside investors feel comfortable and safe about investing info. All right, Mark Z via PDK question, what is the first reading of the food security law, which is scheduled for tomorrow? Is that a vote? And this was said yesterday. Mark Z says it could be a vote. We don't know at this time. They are expected to read it and possibly approve if there are no changes made. We're also hearing they are to present several candidates to set their government tomorrow. So we can expect to be a big day in Iraqi politics. Clear article quote, the Iraqi parliament sets Wednesday the first reading of the food security law. Caparoni says there is no exchange in Reno. The only exchanges that have talked about in Reno were scams and people lost their funds. All right, Sheila via Mark Z standing by for notifications and hearing this is our week. Mark Z via PDK, the first reading of the food security law has happened. They will read a bill 3 times and it is already receiving overwhelming support. The second reading is tomorrow. I do not know how quickly we'll get a third reading. When the last reading is done and passed, contacts in Iraq tell me that is when we will get the new rate. This is what I am told from the people that work inside Iraq and involved with finance ministry. This is fantastic news. All right, militiamen, as for when it will happen is always a question in many people's minds. The whole process is unique. We can see that the likes of WB, IMF, AMF, G7, G20+, WTA, iSCUDA, BUNA, CRS2, ISO 222 digital platforms and/or systems interlinking all those entities while trying to sort a convoluted process of seating the government to have credibility is directly in the forefront today. They'll all need to have that confidence needed investors to have security and stability. Lastly, Mountain Goat. So Iraq currently has 2 main ongoing critical sagas now taking place. The first is the elections informing the new government. And I want everyone to remember that months ago, the CBI told us that the initiative to complete the currency changeover and thus later reinstatement was approved and just waiting for the president to be announced and then the rest of the political process to form the government to follow. The second is getting the 2022 budget.